Okay, hi guys, and welcome to the show. And today we are indeed looking at another Casio watch. This watch I've been dying to take a look at for quite a while. In fact, I bought it several months ago, and I've only just had time now to really review and go into it. This is the reference SGW600H, and of course I'll do my quick wristwatch check. I'm also wearing the Casio F91W, arguably the most famous watch by Casio. This is a new version with this kind of faux brushed, I guess it's trying to be metallic, but it is actually plastic resin. And if you notice, there's no color. It's gone monochromatic on the actual display. Really nice little kind of variation on the classic F91W. I saw it on Amazon, $10, just couldn't resist. So I had to get it. Anyway, Casio is a brand that needs no introduction whatsoever. I've banged on about them for donkey's years. Founded in Tokyo in 1946, a huge horological giant, tour de force. Not just in watches, they specialize in consumer electronics of endless variety, but they took that experience and put it into watches. The result was many iconic classics like the G-Shock in 1983, the calculator watches, the Databank, of course the F91W, which I'm wearing, not to mention all the spin-offs like the Edifice line and a lot of proprietary technology, which incidentally is also present in the watch we're reviewing today. So how did this watch come about? Well, invariably, as development of their outdoor ABC technologies continues to progress, that's left a lot of the older technology, the first generations of the ABC watches, and before that the twin sensor technology, more kind of redundant. And what they've done is they've cleverly released it in their more affordable watches. So this watch came out not too long ago, a couple of years ago, but what really attracted me to this was its more sleeker design, its kind of tactical retro sci-fi look, and its more compact size. Speaking of which, let's get the dimensions out of the way. We have a diameter of just shy of 43 millimeters. Yeah, that is rather big, but compared to a G-Shock or something, it is rather small. A thickness of just a smidgen under 14, so 13.7 millimeters. It is a little bit taller because of the this raised bezel that protects the glass there. Lug to lug, we're looking at 49.8, and the lug width is, well, actually on the hooded lug structure there, it's around, what is it, 25, but actually if we turn it over, you can see here it does have spring bars, so you can actually remove this and add a NATO strap or even a regular strap. So the internal measurement is 18.2, so you can fit an 18 millimeter NATO strap, which is another reason why I really like this particular version. Having said that, the resin, which has this kind of zigzag a texture to it, and I really do like the way it tapers and kind of, it looks like it's integrated, but it's not. Nice system. I really like when watches do this. We get a PVD steel buckle there. So the glass is a flat mineral, protected and shielded by that raised bezel. The bezel insert is actually aluminium, which helps to keep the weight down. It does look very metallic, and it's a nice contrast to the texture of the plastic, that matte of the rest of the case. We have 4 pushers that are very ergonomic, large, easy to press. You really get a sense of depth. This wonderful kind of layered sections on the actual main display. Going around the bezel, we have the functions of each button, so there's no confusion over what purpose they serve. Little hints of red there just when you need it, and there's even a little red line going across the world map there. So let's run through the features. You have your home screen here. Now what I really like about this particular layout is that you have a secondary time zone here. So here we have local time, and you can flip this vice versa. What I also like is at the bottom at 6 o'clock we have dot matrix, and that will scroll, and I'll show you in just a moment, to display the different time zones as you move across this map, which is really neat. Then you have this little compass display. If I engage the compass mode, you'll see there you go. You got 3 lines for north, and it's very accurate, and this will give you your temperature reading. So right now it's 30 degrees Celsius. You can change it to Fahrenheit. As you can see, the negative part of this screen is not the best in the world, but then again, you have to consider its price. There is a version, I believe, that has both non-negative. However, for some reason, they tend to be more expensive and you can't really get them. Anyway, let me scroll through the different features. So here we have the world time. So if we scroll through, you'll see the dot matrix at the bottom. And we have, I believe, 48 cities across the world. So quite detailed. And you can interchange where you want to have the main time here or a second place constantly at the top there, which I think is really nifty. And this is interchangeable 24-hour and 12-hour formats, as is the main time. Day, date, all the rest of it. So we have a 1/100th of a second stopwatch, countdown time as well. 5 daily alarms, including hourly time signal, a snooze function. It does have auto calendar, which is full auto calendar to the year 2099. So the backlight, we do get electroluminescence, and it is pretty good, I must admit. You can use all the complications in complete darkness, which is pretty cool indeed. The module is the 3451, which is accurate to plus or minus 20 seconds a month. It's also very good at dealing with extreme variations in temperature. And I'm glad that Casio brought it back for these more affordable kind of entry-level outdoor watches. The compass also features bearing sensor correction, which is something that this generation of twin sensor is definitely an improvement over its predecessor. It runs off a CR2025 battery, and it lasts for approximately about 5 years. The water resistance is 100 meters, which is absolutely fine for swimming, gym, kind of, you know, all the stuff that you'd do outdoors. You're not going to be able to go diving in it, obviously. However, that is the advantage that the slightly superior SGW600H has over this particular version. But again, stylistically, this is, I think, much more of a cleaner design. This also wears a lot better. It's a smidgen smaller, and also you have the option of changing out the straps if you so wish. Layered into the underside of the mineral glass, we do have the degrees of the compass, which I think is a nice touch. Casio went to the trouble of putting screws on the tops of the hooded lug guards, and while completely superfluous, it does look rather cool. On the back we have a screwed down stainless steel case back there. So how does this bad boy wear? Let's pop it on the wrist and find out. It's a really comfortable size, only 47 grams, which is incredibly light. It also is very legible. I like the big buttons because it's all accessible on the wrist, although to get the most accurate temperature readings, it is advisable to take it off the wrist because obviously warmth from your body is going to affect the thermometer. Now I have a 6¼ inch wrist, so for me, obviously it looks massive, but with these slightly integrated hooded lugs, it angles perfectly. It's one of the most comfortable digital watches I've had, and I love the way it looks, this kind of sci-fi retro tactical look. It reminds me strangely of Half-Life, the computer game. I have no idea why. Yeah, a bit of an obscure kind of nerdy reference for most of you probably won't get. But anyway, talking of science fiction, interestingly, it was Casio that was featured in the original 1979 Alien movie. The prop department actually stuck 2 Casio watches together and was beautifully cast. This particular model we're looking at today definitely has some of that industrial kind of brutalist sci-fi retro mix of form and function. So let's discuss its positives and negatives. Well, first of all, the comfort is there. It's very inexpensive. I think you've got useful, practical complications for an amazing price. I mean, the value for money on this is astounding. The go-to Casio World Timer has always been the nicknamed Royale. This, I think, it presents an affordable alternative, far superior in functionality. Currently, at the time of recording this, I bought it for, I think, $37 from Amazon, and that's from the official Amazon Casio authorized dealer. Although if something does go wrong, it's so inexpensive, you could just buy a new one, you know, which is fantastic. I mean, a real beta watch. If you're looking for something that doesn't cost heaven and earth, that looks cool, about to go traveling, and you don't want to spend too much money, this is a perfect traveling kind of outdoor companion. And I have to say, also for the urban environment, I think many times I've actually used a compass to get my bearings. If you ever get lost in New York, all you have to do is find out which way north is. Sometimes the buildings are so tall, there isn't a natural parallax to help you navigate and get your bearings. So pressing the compass, automatically you know which is west, which is where is north, west, etc. It's very easy to navigate. I also love the fact that you can change the bands. I think also it's great to have something, a reference watch, not only a beta watch in your collection, but a reference watch, something that's quartz, accurate, digital in this case, that you can set your time, your other watches in your collection too. The negatives, well, I have to say it's not the most intuitive of digital watches. It takes a little bit of getting used to fiddling about to get the time set up to how you want it. Having said that, Casio have all their manuals online. They have a really great, simple website where you can download the manual to any particular module. You just type in the module and it will pop up. The other negative, obviously, is going to be the mineral, but then again, you know, for $30, you can't expect sapphire. My only other critique, I would have loved to see the little compass perhaps used as a clock or something. Even a third time zone, I think that would have been really, really cool, because when you're not using the compass, it's just unutilized. This is a nice alternative to G-Shock. Obviously, you're not going to have the robustness of a G-Shock, but if G-Shocks are often too big for some people, this is a worthy alternative. And as you can see, sometimes in low light, the screen isn't immediately legible. A slight kind of issue with the negative version. And if you're going on some kind of adventure, to have something like this, especially when traveling, you go overseas, you're not necessarily going to be guaranteed your phone might work there, or you might even lose your phone. To have a basic tool like this with World Time, with thermometer and compass for such a low price, I think is invaluable. It's nice not to have the dependency on your smartphone. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. A really cracking little watch. Just demonstrates how many models that Casio have that really don't get enough attention. Do I need it? No, not at all. I'm Casio'd out, but I had to simply buy it just to experience it and, you know, get to know it a bit. The kippers knickers really for the money. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it and found it useful. And as always, guys, I will catch you in the next one. Okay, ciao. Now, before I go, guys, I just want to quickly tell you about this extremely cool app that Watchbox have launched. This is my own personal go-to app for everything watch related. Using the app, you can keep track of the real-time value of your watch collection. You can store watches in your digital watch box and even try on watches using an augmented reality. So don't miss out, and please go to the App Store and download it today. You can access all of my latest videos right there in the app itself. And if you haven't already, please follow me on the official Urban Gentry Instagram and of course the Facebook UGWC. But most importantly of all, keep it positive, onwards and upwards.